This was our old barn. When it rained, we had problems. It was built on a low spot in the property, and it just flooded really, really bad. So we decided that it was time to replace this barn with one that was a little better suited for the property and for our needs. And so we tore this one down with a little help from some contractors at times. It was just so muddy. It was so hard to get out there and do things. We needed some help. So we worked through the rain and the mud of May and got it all torn down. Contractors kind of helped us out with pulling the poles. We brought in 240 yards of dirt and had it spread out to raise the property almost 12 inches, probably 10 to 12 inches across the pad, so that now it's much higher and it will stay much, much drier. Once our barn guys were able to get started, they came in with a 24-inch auger, drilled all the holes, you can see, really quickly. As you can see, we had a little bit of problem with groundwater. We had so much rain in May, it was crazy. What they ended up doing was pouring these little concrete pads, and they dropped those in the bottom of each of the holes, and then set their post on top. You can see here in the video they're setting the post now. Amazing how quickly it went up, and how straight and level they made this thing. What they were doing is they would level each post and pour gravel around it, and the gravel is what's actually holding it down and into the ground. But they just set them up just like they knew what they were doing. You can see that as soon as they got the post in the ground, they immediately started setting the horizontal boards for structure. All that is what the steel siding will hang off of. But by the end of the day, they had the entire thing framed, and they had most of the roof trusses up in place. The next day they came out and they started working on the the trusses and getting what they're called purlins put in place. These are 2x4s that run the entire length of the barn. All of the metal roofing will rest on top of that. And you can see they're just like little ants running all over the place. They're just getting ready to get started here on the shed. I think there's I can't remember, 8-foot shed that comes off the side. I think it's 8 feet. Anyway, nice overhang for each of the horse runs to be underneath. And they had little mini trusses that they hung off of this large header that they're installing now. And here they're actually starting to get the roofing installed. They wanted to get out early in the morning and get it done before the sun came out, and they got lucky. We had a foggy morning. They had a nice cool morning to start, but you can see it burned off fairly quickly. Here's a pretty good shot of the building with both roofs put on. It's kind of hard to see what they're doing here, but if you watch closely, you can see that they're actually cutting in the doors, the openings for each of the horse runs. I think there's going to be 5 when they're 5. I should know this stuff. 5 when they're done. But they got them all cut in and then framed in. You can also see on the back side of the barn, now you can't see through it. They've already got the siding up on both ends. And on the back side, so that's moving right along. Now they're starting to put the siding up around the horse runs, and that's kind of where they got at the end of the day. And there's the other side of the building. One of the other projects we had going at the same time was to set poles to divide all the horse runs. You can see the poles there. We're going to run panels between each one. That the main structure is done. The rabbits love it, and we got a lot of work to do, but it's going to be a much nicer barn.